Ace Attorney and Coca-Cola! Yippee! Hi! Yippee! I need to make that a sound redeem. I love that sound so much. I need to make it a redeem. Hi Anti, hi Tiger Zodiac, hi Encounters. Oh, you're sorry. Here, hold on. Let me switch to the game, and I will bring it back. I will make the fart for you. Hold on. Here, so your points don't go to waste. Here you go. There you go. You're welcome. But hey, gamers. Yippee sound routine. Yes, I need it. I need it. I need that as a sound redeem so bad. You know what? I'm gonna do that tomorrow. That's something I'm planning to do tomorrow. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget. Hi! I hope everyone's having a nice night, and I hope everyone had good Christmas. Had good Christmas. Hello, Oz. We are gonna be gaming. When we last left off, we found Enoch Drebber, I think was his name.
5 months baby, let's go pixel 19 BWUH pixel 19 eyes pixel 19 wow.
Let's go. Oz, thank you for the 5 months. What the hell? Thank you. Oh boy, oh baby, oh boy, oh baby. Pixel K19. That's me. That's me. What was I saying earlier? Oh, yeah. Where we last left off, we found Enoch Drebber, who was the guy that made Hairbrain's machine, and also had the bomb planted, so it's all exploded. And I think he's a robot. I don't think he's actually a robot, but he's very robot-esque. And he has a funny design. And we're gonna go into trial. Let's go. Where this case is gonna go, I have absolutely no fucking idea. I have zero clue where this case is going. He's got robot prosthetics? Maybe! I can definitely see that being the case, especially with his arm. At least his arm. His arm has to be a prosthetic, right? Right? Oh, that's right. This guy. Let me take a sippy. Ace Attorney und Coca-Cola. Yippee! Good morning to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! Good morning, Professor. Ready for today's proceedings? I hope so. I should be. Even I, with nothing left to... Good morning, my dear fellows! Oh, it's our guy. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're here! Why, naturally, a true gentleman stands shoulder to shoulder with his friends in battle at all times. For once, he did not oversleep. That is a genuine surprise. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll see you later then. Now, Professor, we really need to remain calm in the courtroom today. Sholmes has a fit here. Yeah! Yeah, absolutely. I love the DLC costumes. Susato and Rinosuke also have some pretty decent fit. I get the feeling this is also setting up, like, we're expected Sholmes is not going to be here, but then he was actually going to be here. So he's going to be like, what the hell? I came here out of my own volition to join you, Mr. Naruhodo. The least you can do is pay attention to me. Yes, do try your hardest not to enter the witness stand uninvited again. Yes, I will. I realize it was a mistake, but My dear fellows, I must interject! See, there he goes. Look, he's upset. Oh, you're still here, Mr. Sholmes. What's the matter? Surely you've overlooked some praise, have you not? To be cast in my direction, Please compliment me. I get sad very easily if we're not talking about me. Sorry? I don't follow. Sholmes is a little needy meow meow. Yeah, he really is, huh? Must I spell it out? I, the great Sherlock Holmes, the greatest detective of worldwide acclamation, arose at some ungodly hour to be here now. First thing in the morning. A miracle, you must agree. Well, if I must agree, then... As you know, my sleep is quite impregnable. Iris had to employ her full gamut of tactics. She pulled the covers, shook me, poked both cheeks, punched me, kicked me from my bed. Must I spell it out? I need head pats. Please, I need uppies. Impregnable. Get punched by a 10-year-old. Then she poured a boiling cup of her latest experimental blend on my face. And at last I was bestirred. She poured hot tea in his face. Oh my. Iris has been busy. Iris doesn't have it in her to go that far. She's too nice. I sense the spirit of a fellow scientist. One who relishes the infinite possibilities of blending tea. I'm the one worthy of praise here, not Iris. This is my victory. You gotta wake up, Sholmes. You gotta... Iris literally, like, Iris and Sholmes is that one picture of the guy, like, using, with the hairspray and the lighter, like, lighting a dude's crotch on fire. It's like, hey, wake up. Hey! Oh, Inspector Gregson. Good morning. Gregson, my dear fellow. Why the grim expression at this delightfully early hour? Look, I got up early today. Isn't it nice? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I've been confronted with a grimmer expression, eh? Dear me. Are you going to take that insult lying down, Professor? What? I don't know! Poor Professor. Anyway, here's the paperwork you asked for. What paperwork? Ah, I took the liberty of requesting it yesterday. I have a feeling it may prove useful. You wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to get this brought out of the archives. It's the professor's autopsy report. Eh? That mass murderers? Oh, that professor. Who killed 5 members of the aristocracy, including, Van Zeek's brother, right. It was found guilty in a closed trial 10 years ago. It was all done under wraps. And he was quickly executed soon after the trial. It's all in here. The killer's autopsy report has been entered into the court record. Let's read it immediately. Okay, Rena, you're talking, but I want to look at this. This is more important. Killer's autopsy report. Wow, they censored his name? Redacted for confidentiality. Why would it be redacted? Why would it be redacted? It's an autopsy report. The guy's dead. Like, shouldn't it be listed? Huh. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, 17th of June. Courtney Stevens. Wait, that's it? That's it? That's all there is? We can't show it because plot. Oh my god. But the plot, though. I guess. I feel that name is gonna be important. Do we know a Courtney Stevens? Sato, Iris, Herlock, Male, Odie, Zeeks, Albert, Gina, Tobias, Esmeralda, Balthazar, Yippee, Courtney. I see. I see something. Courtney Scythe. Courtney Stevens. That is a connection if I've ever seen one. Courtney last name. Courtney Stevens and Courtney Scythe. I wonder if it's like how in Japan you say the last name first and then the first name. Stevens. I mean, she could have just changed her last name. That could also be the case. And then Enoch Drebber. I like his design, not gonna lie. I think he's cool looking. I like all the designs so far in this case. Every character has been like really cool. Or just funny in Hairbrain's case. Yes, much obliged, Gregson. Us lowly law at the yard are just doing what we can. In the shadows of the great detective Sholmes, of course. Aw, Gregson. You do good work. Well then, Professor Hairbrain, this is it. Today, we're going to lay all of this to rest at last. I wish you the best of luck, Professor. I suppose he'll be in there today, will he? Drebber. Yes, we expect the prosecution to summon him as a witness. I'm still amazed that you managed to find him in just one day. I really owe you both so much. Counsel and the defendant! The trial is about to resume. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once. Here we go. Thanks to Toby. That's true. Yeah. Hairbrain's, the card that he got definitely helped, but we wouldn't have found it without Toby, so Toby deserves all the credit. I like how Sholmes is very cocky and self-elevating, but also has a sense of heart. Sholmes is very good. I love his character. He's like... How would you describe... What's the opposite of, like, a himbo, but still nice? He's, like, intelligent, but stupid at the same time. It's very weird to describe. Like, I don't think he has, like, the body type, but he definitely has the personality. Sans stupid. Like, what would you call that? That needs a name. This is it. The final chapter. Honey, my heart's racing a little. This is not the final chapter of the game. This is the final chapter of the episode, sure, but not the game. Smart idiot is the best archetype. True. True. If done right, it can be, like, probably the best character in anything. I love smart idiots. It's like, high intelligence, low wisdom. Or low intelligence and high wisdom. Just, like, subverting expectations is always really good. Like, a character that's, like, they're not really book smart, but they're life smart. That's also a really good, like, archetype that I really like. I love characters like that. Your mom sucked me good and hard through my jorts! I've not felt this before, actually. This strange foreboding. Yeah! As if something's going to happen in this trial that I'm not ready for. What do you mean you're not ready? What's going to happen? It's just the 3rd episode! And I can't let that distract me from the only thing that really matters. Finding the truth. Yeah! That's the Naruhodo spirit. It's gonna be the same witnesses, not witnesses, the jury, right? I imagine so. Oh, he's here! Kazuma! Oh!
Finding the sweet ass.
Goody! Thank you for the 8 months! Some people don't like how the 3rd episode is usually more standalone than the others. That's true. A lot of, like, the 3rd episodes of Ace Attorney games feel like a slight disconnect from the rest of the game. But I feel like this 3rd episode might actually have some connection because, possibly Kazuma? And also there's the whole thing with the professor being connected with, like the Hound or the Baskervilles. Yeah. You like it though, not every case has to be part of the big myth. True, yeah. As long as the case is, like, entertaining in and of itself, I don't mind if it feels like a disconnect. I think the only, like, 3rd case I dislike is the one from the 2nd game. When I first played it, it was one of my favorites, but as I but I played it when I was like young and didn't really understand anything. And then when I played it as I'm older, I realized Case 3 Ace Attorney 2. Yeah, it's not great. There's a lot of like to it. A lot of things I would change in that case if I was a writer for it. For one thing, I would get rid of the love triangle plot altogether. Jinxed. Oh, excuse me. That slight hiccup. Ah! No! Yeah, that's the circus one. I think the only thing I would really change is the whole love triangle thing with Regina. Because it was really creepy and gross. Like, if it had to be there, I would have at least made Regina an adult. If she was an adult, then it wouldn't be nearly as bad. Exactly. As is, it's that. Scare them out with that. I like the defendant's design in that one, but why he creepin'? Yeah. It's sad because I sort of like the whole mystery behind that case, that the murder was kind of more or less an accident, but not really. And I really kind of like the plot of it, but some of the characters like are just kind of unbearable. The person you defend is kind of an asshole. Yeah, he is not like exempt of any crimes. He should be in jail, but at least not for murder. Assault and pedophilic tendencies, maybe. But murder? Nah, not for murder. Everything else, yes, though. Yes, he did assault a man. He brained him with a bottle. I don't know if brained is the correct term, but he did hit someone up the head with a bottle, and I feel like that can cause serious injury if done at just the right angle with just the right force, you know? So, I feel like he should stay in jail. Not for murder, but for assault and battery, and, that. Okay. Also the other guy. You know who I'm talking about. Him too. And I guess technically the one that's in a coma, but he's in a coma, so they'll all go to jail. All of them. Oh, right. Back to the game. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the public hearing of Albert Herbury, here present, who stands accused of murder. Are the counsels for the prosecution and defense ready to proceed? There he is. The prosecution is ready, my lord. Ryunosuke, wake up. The defense is ready, my lord. He goes to jail, but he doesn't wake up before his sentence ends, so it's like nothing happened at all. As promised, Lord Van Zeeks has his apprentice with him. His apprentice with memory loss. It's almost always murder in these games. I think it is always murder in these games. I don't think there's really, like, a mainline case. Well, no, that's not true. In the third game, one of the cases you take is for theft, but it's only to provide a fake alibi for a murderer. So, yeah.
If I may, Lord Van Zeeks.
Yes, my lord.
There appears to be someone standing at your side.
Ah, yes, my apprentice and assistant. The prosecution believes today's proceedings will see the complexity of this case rise considerably. Whoa! Cool! Okay, that was kind of sick. put the sword away. Miss Green was passed out in the last game, not killed. She was like in a mini coma. But yeah, the second case in this game technically never dealt with murder. Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. Oh, I forgot to read, but oh well. And the smooth running of liquid refreshments by the look of it. The way he holds himself. The way he moves. Puts it away like a katana. I wonder why. Couldn't be anyone else. But he's still suffering from amnesia, so there's really nothing we can do at the moment. I know, but... Oh, this is so very hard. These two, poor things.
It would appear that the prosecution has done a fine job in responding to the demands of the court made yesterday. I understand you have successfully secured the engineer who disappeared from the scene on the day in question. Yes, my lord. I intend to call him as a witness shortly.
Can you credit us? Because it was thanks to us that he was found.
To the defense. Very good, very good. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who have been chosen as random to represent the will of the people in this courtroom today.
Alright, who are the returning faces?
Are you ready and willing to proceed?
Oh yeah, it's the same ones. Well, it's only been a day, so yeah.
Of course, my lord. I'm sure we all understand the importance of doing our civic duty.
I do so despise deception and deceit. I find it so very wearing.
I like her design too. She's pretty. And this guy's funky looking.
To take a man's life with a conjuring trick, it is against the magician's code, not to mention the law. Any fake scientist should feel the wrath of God, if you ask me.
We have to listen to what's said on both sides of the fence, and, then settle on one. That's it, isn't it?
Wasn't like that. Wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all.
So many interesting characters.
If all parties are ready to proceed, you may begin, Lord Van Zix. Before I do, my lord, there is a report I must read to the court.
Eh? Oh.
Yesterday at the Great Exhibition Grounds, the evidence of primary importance in this case. The super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine, which was installed on the experimentation stage, was deliberately destroyed in an explosion effected by an unknown person or persons. It was... What?
An explosion! Put the gun down! Put the gun down!
This is an outrage!
Yeah, we lost the machine. It exploded.
Yes, I heard this grave news yesterday. Scotland Yard submitted a report to my office in the evening. I read that the machine was blasted to smithers and the wreckage reduced to ashes in the flames.
Were there any injured police officers?
I have here a photographic print of the scene taken in the wake of the explosion.
That's gonna be important. Eh? There's a little hatch in there. A little hatch? Perhaps to escape?
It shows what little remains of the machine. Yes, a terrible business. He did it to destroy the evidence, did he? That Enoch Drebber. The court will take this print as evidence, counsel.
Let's have a closer look at that picture. It's over here. Yeah, see, it's like an open hatch. I wonder if that's gonna be brought up. Whether by us or by Van Zieks. Probably by Van Zieks. I would be genuinely surprised if he overlooks that hatch.
Late yesterday afternoon, the protection afforded to the machine by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act was revoked. However, before a thorough investigation could begin, the invention was obliterated from existence.
I wonder if penis among us.
As such, this will become a very different trial. Why are you looking at me, bud? I didn't do anything. As it stands now, with no evidence on which to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the kinesis machine will remain forever in obscurity. Indeed. A most unfortunate state of affairs. However, one thing remains clear. The victim's death was the result of the actions of the accused. Of that, we can be certain. For it was the accused himself who was operating the machine and who ultimately caused its loss of control. Objection? As Lord Van Zieks rightly says, this is a very different trial now. Oh. The accused accepts responsibility for his part in the events that transpired. He acknowledged that Mr. Asman died as a result of the accident caused by his machine's malfunction. However, unbeknownst to the professor, he was being deliberately deceived by a pair of very clever fraudsters. Names, counsel, if you please. The engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, and the victim himself, Mr. Odie Asman. Oh. So what exactly were those two men up to behind the defendant's back? The defense intends to expose that information, thus establishing the unequivocal innocence of the defendant. Oh. Thank you, counsels. The position of the prosecution and defense have been clearly stated. Lord Van Zieks, summon your first witness, please. Point! At once, my lord. Robot Man? The prosecution calls the engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, to the stand. Robot Man, Robot Man, Robot Man, Robot Man, Robot Man, Robot Man. There he is! Look at him! State your name and occupation for the court. Name, Enoch Drebber. Occupation. Hard to pin down, I would say. Look at him go! I love his animations! So weird! See that black monocle? Yes. Why do I feel as though I've seen it somewhere before?
Oh, you too? I had exactly the same feeling myself.
Your file indicates that you are currently being investigated in connection with another case. He's crunky. The theft of a waxwork model, is it? A most extraordinary sounding business. But that has no bearing on this trial, I assure you. Cleave it from your mind. You are familiar with the public experiment carried out at the Great Exhibition some days ago. Oh man, I just realized, like, if there was a way to prove that he was the one that planted the explosive that blew up the machine, we could easily have him like, oh, we got you now, but there's like literally no way of proving that at all. Like, we know he built it, but like, he wouldn't really, if he has nothing to do with like the murder, he would have no reason to set up the explosive. But like, the accused super high voltage instantaneous kinesis demonstration. Your Honor, the witness is sus. Yes, you could say that. I am aware of it. There was a terrible accident, wasn't there? It was you, Mr. Drebber, who constructed the vast machine used in the experiment. Also, our investigations indicate. Can you confirm your involvement? Yes, I constructed it, in precise accordance with the blueprints, but that's all. Then the court would be very interested to hear your thoughts about the machine, I'm sure. Oh, he's schmovin'. An amazing device, if you ask me. The pinnacle of modern science, making instantaneous kinesis a reality at last. What? Good gracious, do you mean to say that the experiment was bona fide? Is that your belief, sir?
His buttons are plus and minus signs like a battery. Oh my god, you're right. I never even noticed that. Oh my god. That's so good. This design rules. Yes, that is very much my belief. Such a waste that it blew up. That I blew up. I mean, But we've already established the machine was nothing more than a prop for an elaborate conjuring trick.
Objection!
No, You've established nothing of the sort. All that was shown during yesterday's proceedings is that the same outcome could have been produced by means of staged trickery. The defense merely proposed a method and demonstrated its feasibility, nothing more. But, no buts! We've procrastinated long enough, I feel. Witness, you will now give your formal testimony. About the machine that you constructed for the purpose of the demonstration at the Great Exhibition. Understood. Alright, let's see what he has to say.
Here we go. Here we go.
I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asman's introduction. He provided me with the blueprints and I constructed the machine to his precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow.
A body double?
That goes without saying, surely. To give the impression that something has moved when in reality it hasn't, it's a basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substituting the original with a fake at some point in the performance. But would I be right in saying you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines?
Flawed? You said it was perfect? Yeah, what the fuck? It's like, the machine works, and then, like, 2 seconds later, maybe it didn't work? Ugh.
Incidentally, the prosecution has already confirmed that Mr. Asman had no twin siblings.
It's my understanding that this witness is well versed in conjuring artfulness. But such talents do not indicate that he was actually able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what, by all accounts, must have been an extremely complex scientific machine.
Whatever do you mean?
Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of your past exploits to light, Mr. Drebber.
Indeed it did, my lord! As a swindler who preys on innocent scientists to elicit government grant money through conjuring know-how.
Yes, it's true that I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field.
Investigation of the witness's workshops attests to that claim, my lord. As evidence, the police found this Royal Society trophy for young talent in science there.
Yes, that's true. We spotted it there ourselves.
If a hypothesis is sound, it can always be forged into a physical manifestation with sufficient skill. Though I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling, talentless scientists in the past.
Would you therefore assert that the explosion of the machine was
an unfortunate accident, or, of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science.
Counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, please.
Yes, my lord.
Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Asmund's introduction. Okay, so he knew Mr. Asmund before Harebrained. So you were already acquainted with Mr. Asmund himself? Not really. By chance, I'd seen his name mentioned in the papers. That's all. But then... What? But I had no interest in his private affairs. If he was an unscrupulous investor, it was no concern of mine. As long as people pay their bills, I take up my tools and construct what they ask for. So why did Mr. Asmund approach you in particular then? Who can say? I presume because my name is associated with excellence in engineering. Not to mention excellence in fraud. Hard to gauge, but the point is, all I did was construct the machine according to the blueprints I was given. In other words, the kinesis machine was built on solid scientific principles. Yes, you might say that. Professor Harebrained certainly has a mind like no other. He has a brain. He provided me with the blueprints and I constructed the machine to the precise... There was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? Of course, that's it! Mr. Asmund was a twin! Oh, Greenowski, please.
Objection.
Perhaps my learned friend wasn't listening earlier. Mr. Asmund had no twin siblings. No, I heard you before, but the thread of hope hadn't quite left me. The demonstration could have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. But Dr. Scythe absolutely ruled that out as a possibility. It is beyond question that the victim himself, Mr. Asmund, did move from the stage to the crystal tower. The fingerprints found at the scene attest to the fact. So it can't have been orchestrated using someone who looked identical to Mr. Asmund then.
Hello. Hello, Eamon.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, no, nothing. Just that the idea of someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind. Do we have someone in our court record that looks... I can't check it right now. Now, the spectators saw the birdcage above their heads crash with a terrible accident, I grant you, but perhaps it was built as flawed somehow. So you understood the science, did you? Not in the slightest. Oh, right. As I've said a number of times, I'm an engineer. My job is to manufacture according to the blueprints I'm given. I would be inviting manifold problems if I foolishly allowed my brain to digest the ideas behind them. I could be accused of stealing those ideas, for example. But how is it possible to construct a machine without really understanding the principles it relies on? I'm just that good, baby. Well, you're practicing law without really understanding the principles it relies on, aren't you? A very good point. Stand up for yourself, Mr. Naruhodo! The point is, the experiment resulted in instantaneous kinesis taking place. As such, the science must be sound. Got him. Yes, and really, experimental results are all that matters when it comes to proving a hypothesis.
Thank you.
He's certainly very sure of himself. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now that the machine has been completely destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's going to be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or the other. But if we're unable to establish that it was a piece of stage trickery rather than genuine science, we will have no grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Harebrain's innocence. Both Mr. Asman and this man in the stand tricked the professor and used him. They took advantage of his naivety and his unbending belief in his work, and I won't let them get away with it. And seeing as the professor is an old friend of Lord Van Zeek's, what on earth must he be feeling towards Drebber? Maybe I should press everything to see what I get. It's clear that you have both scientific knowledge and knowledge of conjuring magic, however. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes along. But your implication is that I furnished the machine with some trickery, I think. It's a possibility that we have to explore. Unfortunately, though, the machine has been blown to Kingdom Come. This is my come. This is my come. So there's really nothing left to explore, is there? It appears that the kinesis machine was fitted with a timed explosive device of some kind.
You have an idea?
Your mom is a possibility I must explore. Got him. Drebber with Spamton voice? Oh my god. Okay. Alright, give me a second. I need to... What is my Spamton voice? When I was playing Delta from Chapter 2, I had a very specific voice for Spamton. What was it again? I'd have to fit in a British accent in there too.
And there's nothing left of that device either. Not a single shred of evidence remaining. I hear.
He must have planned all this from the outset.
But in any case, it's abundantly clear that the experiment couldn't have been a trick. So silly.
God, I wish I had like the voice mod so I can like alter my voice to give it like the radio static, because that's what I imagine this guy's voice sounding like. I feel like he's a robot. He probably isn't, but I want to make him a robot. I have a twin. I think I pressed that already.
Hold it!
It crashed head first, you say?
According to the many according to the many witness reports from those there at the time, yes.
Were you not there at the exhibition grounds on the day?
No! What the fuck are you going on about? You gotta be... No.
I'm going back to the other voice. It gets confusing after a bit. Unlikely. I rarely leave my workshop. Yet another of your unique inventions was found at the scene.
Yeah, it has too much soul.
Well, it was the unveiling of a machine I'd labored over for many months. I saw it clearly with my own eyes, the birdcage plummeting headfirst into the tower. What a surprise. I believe the victim's neck was broken from the headlong fall, wasn't it? How would you have come by that information? Even an infernal recluse like me reads the newspapers, you know. According to the reports, 2 injuries were apparent on the victim's body. Yes, he'd been stabbed in the chest by a screwdriver believed to belong to the defendant, and he had a broken vertebrae as a result of the fall from a considerable height. Correct. My learned friend has been doing his research, it seems. Fuck you. Do we know which injury was the fatal one? Sadly not.
You also just followed my Twitter. Oh, thank you! Thank you for following me there! Ugh. I tend to just retweet stuff I like and be stupid, but I hope you enjoy it. But I also post when I go live there.
Forensic science is not yet at a level where such things can be determined.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I know not everyone uses Twitter. It is completely alright. You are not obligated to follow me there. Ha 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 ha. It's okay. Buh! Oh gosh.
What's with these hiccups?
Mm-hmm.
What we do know is that the victim died having sustained both injuries at some point during the experiment. And since he was found in the birdcage with his neck broken, it's obvious that he fell from a considerable height. I suppose that's hard to deny. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps science is just flawed. Okay. So... I imagine. Not to mention, getting a broken neck from a fall of like, what was it, 30 feet? I believe it was 30 feet. It doesn't say, but I think it said somewhere it was like 30 feet. Huge cringe. But let's look through the evidence. So we got that, the bird cage, which you see here that it's like, oh wait a minute, hold the phone. Oh, I think I know what to do. Yeah, I know what to do. Yes, okay. Where does he say it? There it is. Yeah, there we go. We've examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower of cells. As you can see, the cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage on one particular spot. Following the explosion, it fell some 30 feet. Yeah, 30 feet, I was right. 30 feet into the glass of the crystal tower. That level of damage is to be expected, surely. I agree. The damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location of that damage. All the breakages in the wood are at the base of the birdcage, not the top. What are you saying?
That's the opposite of where they should be.
That's right. That's right, my lord. The birdcage that was at the scene is damaged at its base. So, we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept that there were two bird cages in play that day, which were at some point switched. The feet are the opposite of the head. Not for long. What? Switched during what wasn't a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of staged trickery. If the damage is at the base, there can only be one conclusion. All your base are belong to us! Oh my god! Get out! Gah! 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 Yay! The Noga claps! The Noga claps! I love that emote.
Good gracious, explain yourself, witness!
Well...
Why was part of the guy orange? Because he's a robot. It's clearly something happened to his voice to make it sound different.
Hey! I made that! I made that! Look at her dance! Look at she go!
If we examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we can draw.
Yeah! Noka vibe! Noka vibe! Noka vibe!
The damage of the base on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed tail first into the tower. But multiple witness reports claim it fell head first. The birdcage materialized in the sky next to a balloon flying over the stage following a spontaneous explosion at an altitude of some 60 feet above ground level,
Which is approximately 18 meters.
It then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower. In the ensuing deflagration?
Have y'all like Karma emotes? Cause I like making emotes. I also made an emote for my friend Alex. Hold on. I also made this emote. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. I made this one as well. A little jamming emote. So yeah.
Witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun making these emotes. I really enjoy making emotes.
Objection!
Ooh. But the victim's neck was broken.
Objection!
He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However, he fell. It would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed. Oh? A riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though, to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebrae, actually. I love this song. It wasn't quiet for long. I find it hard to see what's motivating Lord Van Zeeks. This witness is clearly a swindler, and one who deceived a personal friend of his. If you're going to establish this deception, do it right. Sorry? I feel like that's the undertone here. Yes. And there's one more point the defense appears to have forgotten. It obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth very plainly demonstrates.
What? Eh?
It seems to me that the cross-examination had better continue until we resolve this matter. Mr. Drebber, you will amend your testimony with details of this truth. Of course, we must treat the matter scientifically, after all. Now the autopsy has been updated. Ugh, I nearly had him there. Eh? Look at him go! You see the way he moved? He looks like those TikTok users that you do the robot dances. The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the birdcage to have fallen from. Eh? Did Greg's fuck not tell you? British salary cutting noises? I love that video. When the McDonald's Sprite runs out. What do you mean? Well, before the demonstration began, the victim was alive on stage in front of the audience. Yes, there are a lot of witnesses who saw Mr. Asman on the experimentation stage, that's true. And the victim's neck broke as a result of impact following a fall. Logically, therefore, the victim must have fallen from somewhere.
Running out of Sprite. He looks like a Sprite type of guy.
The balloon that exploded was at an altitude of 60 feet. The point of impact of the tower was 30 feet.
Like, absolutely hate Sierra Mist.
I'm a Coke person myself, as you know. The difference of 30 feet is therefore the total distance of the birdcage fell. And there's no other location from which the cage could have fallen that distance if it didn't drop out of the sky.
You're Fanta Boy? Ah.
Ergo, the victim himself must have been beamed from the stage into the sky above the crystal tower.
A trenchant scientific analysis. Dear me, every time I hear it explained, it sounds increasingly plausible.
It doesn't? And I can disprove it immediately?
Oh, yes. It's all very well thought out. Certainly all the spectators on the day saw it. The birdcage plummeting 30 feet through the air, I mean.
Irritatingly,
Yes.
but we can disprove it. I feel like we already have the evidence we need to disprove this. Or rather, not disprove it, but rather explain another method for how the birdcage fell. And it was presented at the start of the trial.
This.
We clearly see that this is a hatch. It could have opened up and the birdcage fell during the explosion. And bada bing bada boom, boom bam bam ba 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 boom.
Objection!
No? Really? Huh. Huh. Okay then, I guess not. I really thought I had that one. Easy, Your Honor. I snapped the victim's neck myself.
Oh, maybe it's the sketch? Maybe the sketch?
Good thing I saved. I can just present as much evidence as I want. Even if it doesn't make sense. I absolutely feel like he probably fell through the hatch and that's how he got the broken vertebrae. I 100% feel that. But if this picture doesn't like prove it, Your Honor, he's bald. Maybe the sketch?
Objection!
Oh, it was the sketch. Okay. This guy looks like what Luigi would look like in Ace Attorney. I mean, we already saw what Mario and Luigi would look like in Ace Attorney.
This is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings. So I was right in my thought process. I just picked the wrong evidence.
Exactly. Yeah. And we already know that there's like a hatch that opens inside where the birdcage is, and there was an explosion. So what could have happened, an explosion happened, there was gas covering everything up. He fell down through the hatch, get the broken vertebrae, and that's how he got the injuries. And that would explain why there's only damage on the base right here. It explains everything, I feel. And it could also go along with how we know that fucking the real Odie Asman was in the experiment stage, and maybe the one in the balloon that was inside the balloon was a fake one, and that's the one people saw. And then at some point during all the chaos, maybe the bodies were switched, or rather like Odie's was transported to the Crystal Tower before the police arrived or whatever.
I'm still I'm still, like, thinking it through, but I definitely feel like the reason the birdcage is damaged at the very bottom